let me try this out. No. Shoot. It's not coming on. I got it. Hello, Lena. Can you guys see me or not yet? Hello? Okay. Okay, sorry about that. There was a small delay getting it set up. I do appreciate everyone coming in. I'm Amy from AJC Magic TV. I do appreciate that you all come in. Please remember to hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, I do appreciate that that you would subscribe. And I'm just saying hello, good evening. This is a hat that I had gotten when I went to Zimbabwe. This is one of the safari parks that we went to. And it is called Antelope Park. So I'll get into more about that and show you pictures about my trip. I also was, thank you Zippity Doodad. This shirt has been made by Russ Stapleton. I figure I would at least show it, and I am greatly appreciative. I bought one off of him, and then he threw in some extra stuff, so I'm very appreciative for him helping me make a design logo, and so I figure I would like to wear it a couple times during the streams. Hello, Max Kimplin. Hello, Zippity Doodad. Rachel's Rob Fudd's biggest fan. Mike Wheeler. Wishing Mouse. Max Kimplin. I saw Stevie Lee in here. Pam's fam. I do appreciate. Hello, Mike Wheeler. Hello, Sushi Me. Thank you all for joining today. So, yes, Russ is really great. I'm glad I reached out to him and was trying to toss around and try to find some different things. I will talk about my Zimbabwe trip, and if we have time, we could talk about. Hello, Michelle Baum. Thank you for joining. So I much appreciate it. And then we'll talk about Disney Plus. I will admit, unfortunately for me, I had to work today, but I did set it up this morning and was able to actually watch one tiny video, which was I picked Steamboat Willie because it was short, and then I did watch another one as when I got into work real quick, but just the short. So I'm looking forward to watching some of the more longer films and documentaries, so that was really good. Yes, congratulations, Mike, for reaching 102 subscribers. That is great. So we'll get on with the Zimbabwe trip that I had taken. What did I do? Okay. In 2011, hello, Penguin Master. Thank you for joining. In 2011, I had the opportunity to take a mission tree. OPEX Tricks. This is not a... we're not someone, we're here to talk about Disney and Zimbabwe and family friendly chats. We're not a grow channel, so you know that. You're very much welcome to join us in the chat, otherwise we're not that type of thing. So you can say hello to people and everything like that, but we're not a grow channel. Oh, that's cool, Pam Spam, Snow White and Pinocchio. One short is Piper. That's good to know that. I know I'll be searching all the stuff, and that'll probably occupy my time. My only other problem is I have to use my AMC monthly membership that I had because of a glitch that they had in their system. I had tried to sign up for it while I was going to go see Maleficent, and they didn't take my payment, and then somehow it ended up going through. So, and now I'm stuck with a 3-month membership for 3 movies a week, and um, and I need to catch up on that too. So I'll be spending a lot of time at the movies, whether it's at home or there. Yeah, Darkwing Duck is also a good one. Also, yeah. So I'm looking forward to a few things on the Disney Plus. But I'm going to go ahead and switch gears right now. And I went to Zimbabwe in 2011. I had the opportunity to take this. Friends of mine had started a group a couple years beforehand called the Nadiri Connection. And they took trips over to Zimbabwe to a United Methodist mission. And the place is called Nadiri Mission. And at that mission, it's a group area. They have a high school, an elementary school, a hospital. It's one of their main hospitals. And they also had a teacher's college there on the property. And then various families and an orphanage that people live there. Hello, Kevin. Thank you for joining. I much appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. But, so they had gone, I believe 2006 was their first trip, and it sounded exciting and everything. And then subsequently after that, they had taken some other trips, and a friend of mine who goes to my church, he's very passionate about Zimbabwe, and another gentleman in my church went, and that was one of the things I wanted to do, was go over there, because 1, I'd never been overseas. 2, going to Africa, and especially an area that is more, it's not jungle like what some might say. It's more of a sub-Saharan area. Zimbabwe's more in the middle. It's on the eastern side of Zimbabwe, but it's more landlocked than on the ocean or anything. So it's landlocked. It was different than whatever I would imagine it would be. It's down further. It's not South Africa, but it's in that mid sub-Saharan section. And that was one of the things, and hearing the stories about the orphanage and how you could help, and we would carry supplies and also help send supplies over to Zimbabwe. Local hospitals would donate various medical supplies. Sometimes they were able to hook them up with a company to help them get medications in that area. One of the things about Zimbabwe, originally it was called Rhodesia, and it was under English rule, and then they decided to break off their connection with England, but they still adopt a lot of those rules. They still do tea time. When you talk in regular English, our English is different than their English. The words mean different things. One case is when you say that you're wearing pants, to them, pants is underwear versus jeans like we wear. So you would want to say, I'm wearing jeans or trousers. And and for someone in Zimbabwe, time isn't a big, I'm not saying it's not a big deal to them, but you could stand there for 2 hours and have a conversation, and sometimes, unless they're in a hurry, they're not going to be on time or what. Not that I want to say that, but they take their time. It's more relaxed and everything like that. Good job, Zachary. Continue with your items there. So, but I went in 2011. I traveled with a group of about 8 people, and we went for 3 weeks, and 2.5 of those weeks we spent in the town. We flew into Harare, Zimbabwe, which is the capital of Zimbabwe, and then we traveled about 2 hours north out into the bush country. It wasn't total bush country, but there was a lot of like no how not a lot of like city areas and everything like that. Hello, Nick Welsh. Thank you for joining. Not yet, Kevin. I haven't watched that yet. I will be looking into my Disney Plus and all the stuff. The only thing I actually watched was Steamboat Willie, and then I pulled up the band concert just because they were short and I was in places where I couldn't watch something for a long time. And I will show you some pictures of that. But this was the group that I traveled with. There was 8 of us. We stayed at the Mission. And I'll see you later, Zachary. And we stayed at the Mission. We were picked up by several people that we had connections with at the airport in Harare, Zimbabwe. And then we hire a driver. Well, they drove us back in their own vehicles, the ones who own vehicles, back to the Mission, which is called Nadire. And you'll see it in the pictures. And it was about a 2-hour drive. We did stop at the grocery store while we were in Harare to get some supplies. Plus, we wanted to have supplies while we were there. There are certain employees there that will become our cooks and laundry people because they do need employment. And they're very well take care of us. And they also are security for us in a way. So that way they know we're safe and everything like that. So that's that. Yes, Mike. Or Sushi Me. Yes, mosquitoes were a big issue. One of the things that they're trying to do in the Africa area is the no more malaria. I did have to take malaria pills. I actually took doxycycline. I know some people can't take that, and I realized after a while I did have some side effects from doxycycline where I got sunburned kind of bad, like on my hands and my neck. Whatever areas that weren't covered depending on what I was doing that day. And then sometimes my stomach would be kind of upset, so I was watching that. But that was a big issue, is you had to watch out for, so you were issued malaria pills, so you would take those. There was some other ones that you could take, and one of the things was that quinine. I believe there were pills like that, and there were some other ones, but I was on doxycycline only because at that time for me it worked well, but I was also I had kidney issues, which I still do, but I've since had a kidney transplant, so I have to be careful on different medications that I had to take. But yes, malaria was an issue that you had to take care of. Thank you, Max. That was very nice. And the other thing was I had to get a bunch of immunizations to be able to go there. And I had to get a hepatitis A, hepatitis B shot. Also, there was 2 other ones. And then I also had to make sure I had the flu shot, the... Hello, Lena. Thank you for joining. I also had to get the Tdap, which was the tetanus, diphtheria, pertussis vaccination. There was also, I also had my doctor wanted me to make sure I had the meningitis vaccine, the pneumonia vaccine. There was 2 other ones we had. I should have brought my list down. But one was something with that had to do with like yellow fever and something else, but I can't remember what the other 2 were. I should have grabbed that information for you. But yes, there were a series of things, but the biggest ones were hepatitis A and B. Then also have your regular flu shots, your Tdap, and there was a couple other ones there, and then I had some extra ones just to make sure that I had that. And then also get my malaria pills. Anybody that mostly travels down into that area. Yes, mosquitoes are still a problem, even though they're trying to eradicate a lot of that. Yes, yes, because it is in the area that I was in. Most of that is sub-Saharan, and anything could happen. I will say, while we were there, um, we weren't in the city of Harare. We were more out into the countryside, or the bush country area that they say. But also, there are times that the electricity would be out for a day or two. When that happened, that affected the water at the mission and also the electricity, so it would be pitch dark. So we did carry battery operated lanterns, or the head lanterns, if we were traveling around at night at the mission. Pretty much we stayed within the mission, except during the daytime we did go out to yeah, Mike, it wasn't fun getting all of them, but it was something. If I wanted to do the trip, I needed to make sure I was good to go, and everything. So yes, it would be quite hard for that. Um, so to make sure that I had that. Yes, there is a lot of flying to it. We left on a Thursday and arrived in Zimbabwe on Friday evening. So we flew from, we actually drove to Washington, D.C. from the Pittsburgh area, only because we couldn't get a flight from Pittsburgh to D.C., so we decided we would drive down to Washington, D.C., and we got on at, I can't think of the airport now in D.C., Dulles Airport. We flew out of there, and we flew from Dulles Airport to Ethiopia. And then from Ethiopia, we had to fly from Ethiopia to Harare, Zimbabwe. And then on the way home, so it was pretty much overnight plus an extra, when we got to Ethiopia, it was actually almost lunchtime. And then when we got to Harare, it was like, I think it was about 3 o'clock or so. And then we went to the grocery store and everything. Our trip home took almost over 24 hours. We left Zimbabwe in the morning, probably about, I think it was about noontime their time. But by the time we got home to Pittsburgh, it was actually a whole day gone by. So we went from Harare, Zimbabwe to Lusaka, and then to back to Ethiopia, which is almost in the middle of the night. And then we went from Ethiopia to Rome, Italy, to gas up the plane, and then Rome, Italy, back to Dulles Airport. And then we actually took a flight back to Pittsburgh from Dulles Airport. That was the shortest leg, was the D.C. back to Pittsburgh. So, it was very long coming home. It's hard to sleep. For me, it's hard to sleep on a plane unless I'm exhausted. I did watch a lot of movies, but I did get some Z's, but not as much as I probably could have had I could sleep, because both flights were pretty crowded. That time of year, in the summertime, I went at the end of July and came home mid-August. And there were a lot of different mission trips, groups that were in other countries that had gone. So, some of the things that we did there was we brought supplies over and helped the hospital get their supplies and everything organized. We did take a lot of nursing books, because they have a nursing school with the hospital. We also did some things with the orphanage, and also offered a Bible school camp, a Bible camp for the kids, whoever wanted to come. We had over hundreds of kids at our Bible school, and you'll see in the pictures. I'll show you some of the pictures. And we also went out. The Nadiri Connection also looks for sponsors. I'm not promoting their sponsorships and everything like that, but you can sponsor a child to go to school there, because in Zimbabwe, the kids have to pay for school and an outfit, and they help other children that even though they may have a family, they might have been an orphan that came to an aunt and uncle's family, and the aunt and uncle can't really afford to send them to school, so they set up a sponsorship program that you can pay to sponsor a child, and at certain prices, because if you want to provide the own backpack and school supplies for them, then it's a little bit cheaper. But if you want to go ahead and pay, and then the Dairy Connection puts together the backpack and school supplies, then it was a little bit more money. And then they ship them over through an organization called Brothers Brother, and they actually have a headquarters here in the Pittsburgh area. And those go by container ships, and that takes a couple months for them to get, but then they all get their supplies, and a lot of medical supplies, a lot of school supplies, a lot of pastor supplies, because a lot of their stuff, the missions and stuff, they help out the different pastors in the location. So it was actually a mission trip through a church organization, but they're called in the Dairy Connection, and anybody can go, and especially if you have medical background, they're always looking for people that want to go over with medical backgrounds, and you can kind of help them out in the hospitals and stuff. And then they do look for other people. I don't have a teacher's or a medical background, but I knew the group of people that went. Plus, I help out with the youth group and everything at our church. And our organist, actually, she's a big part of the group. She does music for the kids, and they really love that, and a lot of them other ones that do that. And some of them are teachers, and they love being with the kids, and they learn different songs, and they, when we do Bible school for them, we play games and do Bible lessons and everything like that. So yes, it is a great organization. They do have a website. I'll probably put that in the description. I forgot to even put that in there, but they're called the Dairy Connection. And I can type it in there just in case anybody wanted to look them up. And a lot of the people that are part of that group are friends of mine. And that's one of the reasons why I chose to go with them. But it was my first ever overseas trip. And people were like, wow, you really went for the weirdest place in the world to go to, Zimbabwe, Africa, for your first overseas trip. It wasn't England, it wasn't Italy or whatever, but it actually was Zimbabwe. And I'll show you some of the pictures that you can see. That was my group that I went with. And they take various other people all year round. Sometimes different pastors will attend. Sometimes nurses and doctors will go. There's also an organization that they're helping them put in solar lighting and solar cooking supplies, like how to cook without using a lot of wood and fire, stuff like that. And there's also an eyeglass company that goes and they'll collect eyeglasses, old eyeglasses from people, and they'll take them and do eyeglass clinics for people. And they get hundreds of people that show up under a tree in a certain town or whatever and see. But this is the some of the pictures here. That's us when we arrived. That's us getting ready to travel, my group. I'm not sure how hard it is, and that's the grocery store that we went to. I was just taking some different pictures. But this is our arrival day, and that was one of the trucks that we traveled in. And that's us just loading up our supplies, getting ready to head out to the mission. We stayed in a cottage, and then one of the other guys hosted. We had one male with us. He at the time, was in college, and he stayed with one of the pastors of that mission. They hosted him, and we stayed in the guest house, all the women. So we all stayed in there. So he actually got the best part of it because they actually had hot water and they always had water and everything like that. So they had pretty good housing for the mission pastor at the station and everything. But these are some of the things that we did and some of the people. That's the church that was at the mission. I'll have to move a little bit so we can see because it's hard to see the different pictures. I actually made up these books just because after I have over like 2,000 pictures and I just picked out some of the best ones. But some of these are the guest house. Some of them are the church that was on the mission. That's one of the orphans with a couple of the people. That boy, he's actually a boy, and his name was Charles. And then that's just with the mission. Some of the parts of the mission look like where they had the dirt paths and just various buildings throughout the place. And then this is one of the nights that we sat around at the table with dinner, and you can see the candles on the table because they didn't have electricity. That's the one thing in Zimbabwe there that they have a problem, and that's one of the reasons why some of the engineer students decided to go over and take a look and see how they could help them with solar lighting and stuff like that. So to help them be more sustainable and help them. And then there's other people that help them become sustainable with farming and stuff like that. So that's the. And then this is some of the different people. This is like on a Sunday morning, all the people going to church. So that was the church area. And that's just some of the some of the kids that lived in the orphanage and myself. The orphanage was called the Home of Hope. Those are children that they didn't have parents or any type of relative around, and eventually some of the kids did get to go to visit. The government actually contacted various family members, and some of the kids ended up moving there, or they actually grew up and are in college now or doing some other type of trade. Because schooling in Zimbabwe is a lot different than it is in the United States. They go up to a certain grade level, and then they have to take O-level exams in order to go on with high school, a higher education. And some of the kids, if they don't pass it, then they have to go to alternative type of education, or their education just ends. So that's one of the big things. The Nadiri Connection here in the Pittsburgh area do a barbecue chicken. They also collect money. Hello, Tracy G. Alex. Thank you for joining. I'm just talking about a trip to Zimbabwe that I went to in 2011. This is some of the activities that we did with the kids. We went hiking one day to a town to visit some local people in their homes. Some of the kids will follow us. That's what some of the pictures are some of the kids that we hung out with. Hello, Timothy Rainwaters. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was going to say, Tracy, you're probably enjoying yourself or getting ready to head to the Christmas party. Sorry, I'm up against a table and I should have and then practice. But that's just like it's some of the different people and everything. One of the times when we were there, one of the kids, he was a basketball player for his high school, and they actually made it to the championship. And we went with them and cheered on the team at a basketball game. And it was about an hour or two away. And at one of the other nearby school, it's not nearby, but it was about an hour or so away. We packed up lunches and packed up the kids, and we went on to cheer them on for their basketball game. A lot of these are like the different people and stuff since I made photo books. And we also went hiking in some of the areas where the rocks are, and they had various types of stuff. Oh, okay. Thank you, Max, for telling me that. Thank you. That'll be interesting to see that, because I know I haven't seen it in a while. I've seen the second one. That's me and a couple of my friends. Sitting on that porch of the house that we were staying in, and that's us with the various children of the area. The kids always wanted to come and see what we were doing, and were curious. And sometimes we'd play basketball, sometimes we would sing, sometimes we would play Foursquare, tag. There were some mornings I walked to school with them to see what the Pledge of Allegiance and stuff that they do in the morning. They do certain things in the mornings before school. I could see what their schools are like. So that was the porch, and just various people that we met. One of the things that we got to do with them, corn maze is one of their biggest staples of food there. So we would help them shuck the corn, the corn cobs, and so that way they can grind them and make various cornmeal and stuff. So their biggest food staple after they do that is sadza. It's kind of like a mashed potato-y type of thing, but it's types of stuff. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you for stopping in, and I hope you have a great evening at the Mickey's Halloween party. A guardian, Kenzie push you right. Yes, Mike, that's pretty funny. But one of the foods is sadza that they eat a lot of. Chicken. They do get beef if you, at times, that's more of a commodity type of thing. While we were there too, we were at a banquet. Thank you, Tracy. I do appreciate that. Tell Kenzie I said hello. Have a great evening. And there you could see us shucking the corn cobs to help them get ready to make their various cornmeal, whether it becomes sadza that they serve with dinner, or it could become muffins or whatever. So corn is a big staple there, and other various vegetables. We help them paint some of their rooms and help them clean out a couple sheds while we were at the mission. We helped them unload supplies. We had supplies of books, so we took them to the library to help them set up for the library. So we did various things. We went out to some of the schools in the area. It was good to go out and see what some of the countryside looked like than just on the mission. The mission had its own little city type of thing going, because like I said, they had a teacher's college, a high school, an elementary school, and a hospital and nursing school there, plus a church. And they so we got to go out and see what some of the schools and what the countryside looked like. The big thing while we were there, you also have to drink bottled water, because otherwise you will get sick because you're not used to that water. So that was the big thing too. When I go to this page, it's hard to look because I'm over too far. I hope you can see the pictures. That's us at one of the schools hanging out. And us like sorting school supplies and different stuff like that. So, and that's one of the schools there, like paintings on the schools. And that's us visiting a few of the schools and playing games with the kids. and the students, because some are high school kids, some are middle school kids. That's us hanging out at the Home of Hope Orphanage. We were reading books to them and giving out books, and every evening we would go down there for evening prayers and song and hang out with the kids for a little bit, whether we'd watch a movie or read books or play games, and then we would end with prayer and songs and say goodnight. So that's what that is. They actually have been able to build a new home for all the children there. And then this is just some more pictures. Unfortunately, some of the people in these pictures have passed away since I've been there, whether it was illness or an accident. I know 2 people that I got to know while there had passed away just recently over the last year. Like the gentleman there, he just passed away this past summer. So, and he was actually our host, and his name Julius. His name was Julius, and his wife's name was Joyce. Joyce is still living. They actually since retired, and then he got very ill and passed away suddenly recently. And another gentleman that we worked with while we were there was in an accident around Easter time. There was a bus accident. So that's pretty much all the orphanage pictures. Yeah, this gentleman here in this picture, he passed away in a bus accident. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, no, I understand that, Mike. I was just talking about that. But I'm just saying, over the years since I've been there, a few people have passed away from there. And then this is just some of that after we were done with the being at the mission, in order to kind of reacclimate ourselves and give us a chance to kind of relax and kind of transition back to coming back to the United States. We actually went to this Antelope Park, which was south of Harare, and it took us a few hours to actually get there. But one of the people that I was traveling with was in the Peace Corps, and this safari park specializes in lions, and that her host family, when she was in the Peace Corps, lives down in that area. So that was one of the reasons why we went to Antelope Park, so she could go and visit her host family. 2 other people in our group actually went with her, while the rest of us stayed at the safari park. But this is one of the activities that I got to do, was walk with lions. They're actually lion cubs, and it was a really cool experience. I really enjoyed myself at the safari park when I was there. Not only did we, they specialize in taking care of lion cubs and lions and the medium-sized lions. They also had a full range regular safari. We got to ride on an elephant. Some of the people in my group got on horses and went out into the safari and got close to zebras, giraffes, all kinds of animals. The first night we were there, we went on a lion hunt. We went hunting with some lions. So we got to see how they hunted around, and we missed the kill, which was okay with me in that part. But when we did find the pack again, they did get their wildebeest. And then these are some of the pictures of us at different areas. We went out and visited some people and looked at the various artwork while we were there. That's us traveling around. And just various people that we met. But the safari park was really good. And I'll show you the rest of those pictures. This is during the Bible school that we held. And the kids wanted face paintings and stuff, so we did that. Play games and everything. But I'll pick out the pictures of the safari lion park that we went to. Thank you, Mike. But this is us arriving at the antelope park, and that's like the little lion cubs, and that's us getting on the elephants, and there I am petting some little lion cubs. Actually, it's interesting because, you know, those little lion cubs look so innocent and they look like little kittens, but you also had to watch what colors you were wearing when you were going to be on one of the lion walks or in the little cub area. You couldn't wear red because lions don't really see colors, but red, for some reason, they think that's meat. So they somehow can see the color red, and then they think that's meat. So, and that's part of that from my lion walk and the elephant walk. And that's myself and my friend up on the on the elephants. For me, being a short person, it was hard to sit on the elephant because the backs are pretty widespread, and having short legs, it was kind of hard on that. But it was a fun experience. You were up pretty high off the ground on the elephants. We also, while we were there, went to a lion feeding with all these lions in a fenced-in area, and at a certain time they put out all this chicken meat and all kinds of bird meat or whatever, and you can see the lions pacing back and forth, ready for their food, and they would just really I want to walk like an elephant, talk like an elephant. Yeah, Mike. But this is some of the things, as you can see, that was my lion walk with the lion experience there. It was really cool. I was going to go back on it again with some other people. Oh, no problem, Pam Smam. Glad you came back. But that's some of the experience. That they decided that they wanted to climb a tree while we were on the walk. It was kind of like walking with with dogs, actually, because they would frolic around. You just had to be careful that they didn't knock you over. Plus, we had protection with us that if they got too close, they were able to contain them. That's where the lions went and attacked the giant pile of meat, and then you could see who the king of the lions was whenever they got the meat. And then this is just us ending at the safari park. It was really cool to stay there. I was surprised how it was sort of modernized. We actually stayed in tents, but they actually had they were very nice tents. They actually had regular showers in there, regular bathrooms, then beds for everyone. They also had little cottages you could stay at. 3 of our people stayed in a cottage, and the rest of us stayed in the tents. And then the one gentleman and our driver that we hired to drive us down there, he stayed in the lodge building, which was kind of like a hotel room. So they had like a lodge building, tents, and a cabin to stay in, and they were all different prices. They had outdoor cooking, like an outdoor kitchen area that you went to have dinner, and it wasn't totally outdoors, it was outdoors, and they cooked by the fire and stuff, and they had also a snack bar type of thing if you didn't want to eat the buffet that they always offered. I know for lunch one time I wasn't overly hungry, so I just went to the snack bar and got a sandwich from there and a soda. from there. So, but that's one of my, I made Christmas cards of this one year to send them out to my friends because a lot of them didn't see the pictures. They supported me to help me get to Zimbabwe. And that's me on the lion walk hunt, so, or the lion walk. So that was a picture there, and that's one of my prize pictures that I always had hung up and everything. So I put that on the cover of the book, also on the other book that I had made. Anybody have questions or anything? And then I have different postcards that I had picked up. This is like the lion postcard. These are actually bookmarks from the Antelope Park. As you can see, that's what the Antelope Park. Hopefully it's focusing for you. But they were bookmarks that I had brought home that they had given me there while we were there. They had a lot of craft items that you could buy. One of the things that I decided to buy from the craft people, I forgot to grab them too. Darn, I had gotten a gift of soapstone. I was there for 3 weeks, Mike Wheeler, and actually I got to celebrate my birthday while I was there. So, and they celebrated in a very, very unique way. So that was fun. We played hot and cold to find my card. The kids did that. They hid my card, and we played hot and cold and had ice cream and everything like that. But it was fun to celebrate my birthday while I was there. Because my birthday is August 3rd, so, and I happened to be there whenever it was my birthday. So it was about 3 weeks. So, and that's pretty typical. Usually they do, some people might go for a week. So it just depends. Sometimes they're just more focused on going to the mission, take a look at what they need, and help them out or bring supplies. Sometimes some will go for 2 weeks and they'll add in a trip to a safari park. Some will stay there longer. I've had friends who stayed there for 2 months and they got to do a lot of different things, stayed with a host family and traveled around to different locations and different orphanages and just different families and different attractions there. These are some of the postcards I had picked up while I was there. That's from Antelope Park. They specialize in lions. That's why a lot of the pictures are of lions. I should have grabbed it too. I think it's over there. It was a coaster set. I can grab it. It was carved out. They have the big 5 animals. Yes, Mike, it is a birthday that I will never forget. Yes. Because unfortunately for me, I never got a chance to go back before I had gotten sick and then had my transplant. And if I would choose to go after having the transplant, it would be something that I would have to be very, very, very careful because of my immune system and everything like that. Yes, Pam's fam, it was. I had an opportunity to go back again for about a week and a half. Part of me wishes I did because they raised enough funds to take the Home of Hope orphanage to Victoria Falls, and that was one of the places that I would have loved to have visited, was Victoria Falls. And I was going to fly over for the week and a half to do some things at the mission and then actually travel with them to Victoria Falls. But with work and stuff, I just couldn't get it to work out. So that was the only thing that I kind of wish I could have done, but to at least see Victoria Falls, since it's one of the 8 wonders of the world. But it actually took them a whole day to actually travel there from Harare, Zimbabwe, over to Victoria Falls. This is a picture of like the elephant rides that they have. So I just picked up some various postcards. And then I have other scenes of Zimbabwe, like the zebras. That's an up-close picture of the zebra. And actually, a zebra is kind of fuzzy because we actually went on kind of like a ride, like the Kilimanjaro safari type of thing, and we got up close to the zebras and wildebeest and just various other animals, birds. But these are just some pictures of what other areas of Zimbabwe. They have various different parks. Thank you, Pam's fam. Yeah, in a way, I'm sorry, because I don't think I'll be able to go over there again just because of my immune system and everything. And just because there are times that if you're not in certain areas, you don't have the electricity and stuff like that. So here's a picture of Victoria Falls, so a postcard from there. But they just had various rock formations. And the time of year that I went was actually winter time there. Since they're in the southern hemisphere, it was winter time. Whenever I went there, even though it was our summertime, it wouldn't get overly cold or snowy, but a lot of the stuff was brown and bare in there. If you went when we left at the end of August, they were starting to go into their summertime, and so then they would start getting the greens, and sometimes they can get really mushy, flooded sometimes in the summertime, but it would be interesting to go there whenever they had the green of Zimbabwe, because a lot of the times we were there, it was pretty much brown and barren and everything like that. But I had shown you all those postcards. But that's pretty much all the stuff I had. I was looking to see if I had the coaster set close by, which I do. If you hang on, I can show you guys that. It's actually a wood carving of a coaster set of the big five, which is the elephant, lion, rhinoceros. But I'll be right back real quick. This is one of the presents that I brought back. This one ended up getting cracked on the way home, so I kept this one, but I did buy for other people these, and I gave them one, and I kept the one that was cracked. The temperature during the day would be about 60s, 70s. In the evening, it would go down into the 50s and 40s. It didn't snow, but it got kind of chilly. There would be times that you'd need your jacket. But during the day, it could get into the 70s. But then it would get cool at night. Pretty cold at night. So it just varied there. No problem, Pam. But that was the cover of the thing. But here's what the coaster set looks like. The coasters are inside. I'll pull them out. But this is the case. See how that got cracked? And I didn't realize it was cracked, or I wouldn't have probably purchased this one. I think it also got more cracked since I've owned it. So, but the couple of the pieces were cracked, so I kept this one. If friends of mine go back over, I may ask them if they can look for one for me, so that way I have it. I also have a couple other wood carvings and a soapstone. Yeah, it's not too bad. And I just kept this one because I gave other people the other ones for a gift. I figured this was a nice gift to take people. And actually, my coasters won't go out or come out, but you can see the rhinoceros on here. Oh, yes, that's fine. I was going to tell you at 7:30, Jim of More Sunshine, please, goes on. I do thank Dean at Dreamers Empire of the Live Place for hosting my channel and hosting over 70 channels. If you're ever looking for a live stream or something, that's the place to go look, especially if you want something that's more family friendly, geared towards being friendly and talkative. That's a great place to go and see, and especially if you're looking for other content, Disney content and everything like that. So, but here's one of the coasters. It's probably hard to see the carving. That's a rhinoceros one, and it's made out of wood, thick wood. These are kind of warped, so that's why I'm having a hard time getting them out of the thing. This is one of the other wildebeest type of thing. But yes, Jim of More Sunshine, please, is on at 7:30. I believe Walt of Mouse Talk is on at 8 o'clock. And then at 9 o'clock, Disney Life for Me will be going on, I believe. And so there's the other choices for the people from the Live Place. So check out theliveplace.com and you'll see all the different streams. Yeah, these ones all have the same different carvings. So, but that was the coaster set. I also received a gift from one of the families there. I should have grabbed them and I forgot. They were little soapstone hippos I got from a family as a gift. That's one of the examples for me that I've learned that you can touch someone's life and not even realize it by your actions. I was just hanging out with a group of boys and girls, and two of them were nephews of one of the ladies who lived there, and I guess they went back and said, hey, this girl Amy was playing basketball with us, and we played four squares and everything like that. And for me, it was very hard to remember all the kids because there were hundreds of kids and everything. And the night that we were getting ready to leave, a lady brought these soapstone hippos to the house that we were staying at and left them there for me as a gift. And then she did come out and say goodbye to us in the morning, and I did thank her for them. I should have grabbed them and I forgot they're in a case, so I'll have to do that as a quick show and tell sometime that I stream again, maybe during one of my trivia, if I do some trivia or something like that. But so just remember, that's how I learned. Just remember your actions. You don't know how they could affect anybody, whether it's good or bad actions. Hopefully they're good. Saying hello to someone, opening a door. You just don't know how you're touching somebody's lives. And just like a lot of people on YouTube, all the different Disney channels, that a lot of you connected with people and they never knew how they realized how they touched your life and everything like that, and until you guys had expressed that, and that goes for me. I met a lot of different people. I'm glad I got to meet a few in person. There are still a lot of you that I may or may not ever get to meet you, but I hope I touch your lives in some way or another that's positive too, because I know some of you have touched my life in positive ways, and I've learned different things about everybody. But that was pretty much my Zimbabwe trip. Like I said, the flights were long, especially our flight home. It was at least a 24-hour time period. I probably got minimal sleep on the flights that I can remember. I always laugh because I said I got to go to Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, Rome, Italy, even though we didn't get to leave the airport, and Lusaka, Africa. So that was pretty much it of my trip and everything. So, and if there's any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you. Oh, and looks like maybe my chat might have froze there. Yes, it did. Yes, Mike. Yes. Um, yes, I know you touched my life, and yes, that was something that I really wanted to do, was go and meet you, Mike. When I heard Mouse talking about it, I thought, boy, I really got to get to the animal kingdom and go meet you. So I am very glad I got to meet you in person. I hope to get to meet you again sometime when I'm in Orlando, Florida. Whether I drive out to where you live, because I do know where you live, since I lived in Florida for about 2 years, and I visit there a lot. I don't have, if I rent a car, I don't have a problem driving someone or somewhere to meet. So, yes, I am sure it did, Mike. I, I'm sure it did, and you can. I know for you it might have been hard to see, but the emotions that I could see on everyone, it was just incredible. It was a very emotional meeting. It was great to meet you. I enjoy talking to you about Disney, and especially like when you work there. And oh yes, Mike, yes, that would be fun. Um, at some time I do. I know I'm gonna come down sometime in December. I'm just working out the fine details. But if we can't meet in December, I'm definitely looking at a springtime trip and another trip probably in the summer at some point again. So I'm trying to. There's some other people I know that visit, and hopefully I can meet up with them and get my trips coordinated, or I'll be traveling with some family also. So, so yes, I don't have a problem meeting people in the public places down there, whether it's at Disney or at a restaurant or whatever. So, so I do appreciate it. I do appreciate everybody for joining. Please make sure you hit that thumbs up. That's much appreciated. I have about 100 and some subscribers. So please subscribe if you are new to the channel and you're checking it out. That would be much appreciated. Trying to get myself to 1K. And on that road, that would be much appreciated. So I do thank you. And I will let everybody head over to Jim of More Sunshine, please. And I do thank Dean of Dreamers Empire and theliveplace.com. And I will wish you guys a great evening. Happy watching Disney Plus. I may have a possible trivia stream later or another night. So look out for that, or we'll try some other things. So I do thank you all, and have a great night, and let the adventures begin. Thank you, everyone, and have a great night. And don't forget to visit Jim of More Sunshine, please. Have a great night, and let the adventures begin. Bye, everyone. Have a great night, Pam.